Okay, Pop Movies, one of the first sets of Pops that I started getting into back in the day. Got a couple of the early ones. Right there is Gizmo. He is my first. I think my second was Gollum. I don't have him anymore, but Gizmo there was my first. Let's see. Apollo Creed, that's a pretty rare one. RoboCop as well. Dr. Manhattan. Let's see. There's a Clear Bloody Predator. I have more horror pops than I ever thought I would have, to be honest, since I'm not much into the horror genre at all. Let's see, a couple of pops from Kill Bill, including Bloody Eyes, Bleeding Eyes, Go-Go Yubari. There's the Dude. Tony Montana, some Ghostbusters pops as well. Alright, next shelf over for movies. We've got some Universal Monsters. Looks like one of my Bride of Frankensteins fell over there. There we go. Got two there because one is glow in the dark. Alright, there's Sauron. And let's see, a couple of 16 Candles pops. Get into the Matrix. So I've got all the Matrix pops. 21 Jump Street. Superbad. There's McLovin. A couple of Back to the Future pops. One of those being from Loot Crate exclusive. And there's one of my favorite pops. That's a Bloody Ed from Shaun of the Dead. Alright, next shelf over. We continue with the movies. A lot of these I didn't, seek out. They were sent to me either in Pop in a Box or what have you. There's some of the Warcraft movie pops. Let's see here. There's another couple of horror pops, including Beetlejuice and Pinhead. And then the new Undead Barbossa with Monkey from Pirates of the Caribbean. And there's my least favorite pop right now is Garona. Look at how badly she stands. It's really ridiculous, even with a stand. So I just kind of stuck her on the end as one of my Warcraft pops. But, for a long time I just had her in the box or I had her off to the side because I couldn't stand looking at her. Well, that's it for movies. And we're going to head on to television. Alright, TV pops. This is one area where I am seriously running out of room. I got a couple of early pops like that Skeletor. And I mix and matched these just based on what room I had and what I wanted to display more prominently. So they're not in any particular order. Some Battlestar Galactica, True Blood. There's my Ninja Turtles pops. Looks like I'm missing Raphael. I forget who else. Raphael, Splinter. And, the Casey Jones, which I actually had, but I ended up trading him away. So I'm on the hunt for him again. Alright, there's good old Lion-O, who went far in the tournament. Next to Mum-Ra. We'll get into Star Trek, the original series, which I only need a few of those too. This one includes Mirror Universe Spock, which I really like. Get into some Next Generation pops. And then, let's see, we got Arrested Development, Sharknado, a couple of X-Files pops. We get into Hannibal. And there's Hannibal. He doesn't stand up very well. That's why he's in the back. Let's see, Breaking Bad. A couple of those. And then we get into the CW superhero shows. So we've got The Flash. There's Jay Garrick Flash, Captain Cold. Get into the Arrow pops. One of my favorite pops are these Deathstroke pops. I really like the unmasked version as well. Let's see, Malcolm Merlin, White Canary. These are my two most recent pickups, White Canary and Firestorm from Legends of Tomorrow. So I really like those. That's it for, as you see, I only really have one or two spaces for television, so I got to make some plans there. So let's check out some of my more miscellaneous pops. All right, this area is kind of a mix and match of some miscellaneous pops that don't really group well with others. We've got the holidays, a couple of those. Clark Griswold, that's actually should be in the movies pops, but for some reason I just like them. I like him here better in between Santa Claus and the Christmas Story. What is that? Magic the Gathering, Pop Books. There's Cthulhu. I've got a alternate version of Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street. There is the Swinging Friar, the San Diego Padres mascot. And then on the end, there's Philip Rivers of the now Los Angeles Chargers. I might just burn that particular pop. We get into pop games a little bit here with some Skyrim pops. But over here, see, I've got a lot of room because I moved a lot of the games pops over to my desktop. But there's a new arrival, Amy Winehouse from Pop Rocks. And then continuing into the games, there's more Blizzard pops. And then we get into Call of Duty. And there's Chun-Li from Street Fighter. And then a recent pickup from one of the boxes from Assassin's Creed. All right, I've got a few Disney pops that I put in no particular order. There's Maleficent, one of the pop tournament participants. A couple of Jack Skellingtons there. There's the original Captain Jack Sparrow. There's a new one out as well. Jafar, the Rocketeer, Cinderella, and my newest Disney, Eeyore. I've got the blue Eeyore too, but I have not taken him out of his box. Alright, I do have a couple of pops that are still in boxes. If I have pops in boxes, it generally means that either I don't have a really good place for them, or they're valuable enough for me to want to keep boxed up in anticipation of future trades or sales or whatever. So there is Firestorm exclusive, White Lantern there. There's Donald Duck, which I got fairly recently. There's one of my most valuable pops. That's Kerrigan, Primal Kerrigan from StarCraft 2. She's worth around $75 at the moment. This Deathstroke pop, the box is signed by George Perez, so I really value that pop a lot. And then there's Captain Apollo. I got signed at Comic-Con from Richard Hatch. I got two Reapers. I got both the alternate Reapers, one of them being Blizzard exclusive. I've got a Darth Maul signed by Ray Park. And then I've got a Comic-Con box exclusive. This is one that I got. It's a custom of the Joker. And let's pull it out a little bit here. And this is a custom by Evilos. And you can see that I haven't really taken this out, but this is the gold jacket customized by Evilos, and that was a Comic-Con box exclusive a while ago. So those are my in-box pops. Not too many, but there's a few of them there. All right, now we can quickly check out my growing Dorbz collection. I've got some mostly commons, but a couple of chases and a couple of variants in there. I've got the triple set from Comic-Con with the X-Men there. I'm really, my Dorbz collection is growing pretty fast. Moving over to this one, you can see I've got a lot of Marvel on that side, but I've got even more that aren't. You can see Spock there. Pumpkin King, there's Cthulhu. There's the 2-pack of Batman vs. Superman with Aquaman and Superman. A couple of regulars. And then quite a few DC. I think DC were the first Dorbz I actually started getting. And you see Blackest Night there. And then the holiday one that was on the Funko shop for a little while. So, there's my Dorbz. Okay, let's look at my top shelf. Mostly my oversized pops, but I've got my Captain America statue, my 1-year reward from being a Collector Core subscriber. I've got my Noir exclusive Wonder Woman bombshells vinyl that I just can't bear to take that out. Someday I'll take it out of the package and display it a little bit better, but I just don't have a good idea of how I want to do it because I really like that pop a lot. There's Wonder Woman and Invisible Plane, and also the only reaction figure I have displayed, but they make a good pair. There's a lot of my oversized pops, a couple of rides I've got as well. There's Giant Man, there's the Hulkbuster, there's the Chimichanga Truck, the X-Force version, there's Lola and Agent Coulson, there's the BB-8 Gold in the dome, Flocked Wampa, one of the Godzillas, Stay Puffed, there's Alduin from Skyrim, Deathwing, there's I forget what that one is, but it's basically an oversized pop from Gears of War, I believe. And then I've got a couple I haven't taken out of the box yet. Mag the Mighty, the glow-in-the-dark Godzilla, and Doomsday. I just haven't figured out a good spot for them yet. So there's my top shelf full of oversized and rides. And last but not least, I've got my Mantle that's holding my rock candies right now. So there's She-Hulk, Mystique, Enchantress, Batgirl, Supergirl, there's Harley, and lastly, my most current pop from the Smuggler's Bounty, the Han Solo and Tauntaun. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick look at my Funko collection, mostly pops. Well, kids, I hope you enjoyed this really quick look at my current Funko collection. I hope to update this every few months or so, at least to talk about the new pops that I've gotten. But this was a good overview. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those good places. And throw a like on this video if you dug it. I'd love to hear your comments about what I've got and what I don't have. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.